All right, let's talk about a poem that I'm willing to bet almost everyone has heard at some point. Robert Frost's Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. It feels so simple, right? Kind of like something you'd see on a Christmas card. But trust me, beneath that quiet, snowy surface, there's a huge human dilemma playing out. So let's step into those woods together and really see what's going on. So, right from the jump, the poem has this feeling of quiet intrusion. The speaker is like, yeah, I know whose land this is, but the owner's not around. He's way off in the village. This immediately sets up this very private, almost secret moment. It's like we've been let in on something special, just between the speaker and the woods. And that's it. That's the entire cast of characters. Just these three simple but really powerful elements. You've got this lone traveler, his horse, and this huge, silent, snow-covered wood. Frost is a master at this, giving us just enough to paint this incredibly vivid picture in our heads without bogging us down with too much detail.
Okay, so for this first part, we're really going to focus on this initial scene, what I'm calling the setting and the secret. We're going to look at, why did this person stop their journey in the first place? And this line right here, this is the core of that secret. He knows he's not going to get caught. This isn't a stop to rest the horse or check the map. No, this is a totally personal moment. It's a stolen pause in the day, just to watch the snowfall. It's all for him. But here's the thing. The speaker isn't completely alone, is he? And this is where a little bit of tension starts to creep in. Because while our speaker is lost in this beautiful, reflective moment, his companion is definitely not on the same page. And that brings us to this idea of reality versus reflection. The horse is basically the voice of reason here, of pure, practical animal instinct. To the horse, stopping out here in the middle of nowhere, on what the poem calls the darkest evening of the year, makes zero sense. It's just weird. Or, as Frost puts it, queer. The horse is what keeps this whole scene anchored to the real world. And what's so cool here is how clearly this lays out the two different viewpoints. You have the horse, who only sees the cold, hard facts. There's no shelter, it's getting dark, and it is freezing out. But the speaker, he's after something you can't touch. A feeling of beauty, of quiet, of stillness. It's that classic battle, right? The practical world versus the inner world of feeling and reflection. Now, that sense of stillness and quiet, it gets even deeper in the third stanza. The focus here shifts almost entirely to the sounds of the scene, or really, the lack thereof. And who breaks the silence? Yup, it's the horse again. That little shake of the harness bells is the only man-made sound in this whole picture. It's just this tiny metallic question cutting through the quiet, basically asking, hey, are we gonna go or what? It's a little reality check. And just think about that for a second. When you actually list them out, it's incredible how quiet this place is. Besides those little bells, the only other things to hear are the whisper of the wind and the sound of the soft snow falling. Frost uses these super gentle, natural sounds to make the silence and the solitude feel even bigger. Okay, so now we get to the final stanza, and this is really the heart of the whole poem. This is where that internal conflict that's been bubbling under the surface just comes right out into the open. I mean, come on, this has got to be one of the most famous lines in all of American poetry, and for very good reason. It just perfectly captures how complicated and alluring this moment is. So let's actually break down what these three words are doing. See, the point is, the woods aren't just one thing. They're lovely, right? Beautiful, peaceful. We get that. But they're also dark and deep. And that's where things get interesting. It suggests something mysterious, maybe even a little bit intimidating. It's this powerful pull towards rest, towards getting lost in something, maybe something final. It's this beautiful, tempting escape from everything else. But as tempting as that is, he can't stay. And in this last part, we see him make the decision. He's got to keep going. And here it is, the big turn. That one little word, but, it pivots the entire poem. The pull of the woods is strong, for sure, but the pull of responsibility, of obligations to other people and to himself, well, that's stronger. These promises are the things that tie him to the world, to society, to his life. Now, on a literal level, this is pretty simple. The guy has a long way to go before he gets home and can finally rest for the night. The journey's not over. Simple as that. But then, he says it again. And when Frost repeats that line, the whole feeling changes. It gets heavier, more profound. Suddenly, sleep doesn't just feel like a nap. That repetition turns the line into something much bigger, a thought about life itself. It's a long journey, filled with things we have to do before we can take that final rest.
And that is the huge question that Frost just leaves hanging in the air for us. Is he just talking about a single night's trip, or is he talking about the entire journey of life? And the absolute genius of the poem is that the answer is yes. It's both. It works on both of those levels at the same time, capturing this one small, beautiful moment while also asking the biggest questions about life, our duties, and death. Just a truly remarkable piece of work.